Breaking this morning, a man shot to death in northwest Houston. We're live with the details as investigators work to track down a potential suspect. And after weeks of contacting the attorneys for Richardson Mortuary, he finally addresses our questions about the funeral home now closed for good. And it's on to Game 7 for the Rockets after a must-win game last night. We'll have the highlights as the team inches closer to the next round of the playoffs.
KHOU 11 Morning News starts now.
And we are kicking things off with a live look over downtown Houston this morning. Thanks so much for spending part of your weekend with us. I'm Katiera Winfrey in for Trace and Bragg, here with meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Rainy night last night. Can we expect more of that today?
Absolutely not. We're going to see mostly clear conditions today, and we're going to have a break from this active weather pattern.
Breaking overnight, an investigation is now underway after one man was found dead with multiple gunshot wounds in northwest Houston. It happened around 11 p.m. on the 1400 block of Sherwood Forest Drive. Our Stephen Goen joins us now at the scene with what we know so far. Stephen, good morning. Definitely a tragic start to the weekend. Stephen, thank you. And right now, a missing man's family is sharing a sad update. Nicholas Lester, who disappeared after his wife died from cancer Wednesday, has been found dead. Family members sharing these photos with us and a message that Nicholas died of a broken heart. His body was found near a creek by their home. Though devastated, his family says they find comfort that Nico and his wife Christina are now together, and they shared a life filled with love, laughter, and purpose. Nico and Christina are survived by their 3 adult children. The family would like to thank Texas EquiSearch for their help in finding him. And this next story has shaken families in the Houston area, and KHOU 11 has been following it from the beginning. The Richardson Mortuary has been permanently closed after disturbing discoveries and an ongoing investigation. It all started when a family recorded disturbing videos of exposed bodies at the mortuary. The Texas Funeral Service Commission stepped in, issuing a cease and desist order, and later locking the mortuary out. State investigators also recovered dozens of cremated remains that had been missing for months. Now we're hearing from the mortuary owner's attorney.
He is very sorry for the delay. He's very sorry for their apparent lack of communication.
His attorney went on to say he was blindsided by the whole situation. The Texas Funeral Service Commission confirms the mortuary is closed for good with no plans to reopen. And this morning, Comcast says it has repaired fiber lines that were cut by suspected vandals. It knocked out service to Xfinity and Comcast business customers across the Houston area. Now, these photos shared by Comcast show some of the damaged lines. The outage lasting most of the day, with Comcast saying everything was restored around 5:30. In a statement about the outage, Comcast says it is working with law enforcement and other internet service providers to stop the vandalism and are asking the public, if you see something, say something by alerting law enforcement. And this morning, the Rockets are waking up with yet another chance to crawl from behind and take down the Warriors, this time to advance to the next round of the NBA playoffs. The team won 115-107 in Game 6 last night. Zach Toatari breaks down the huge victory.
Win or go home again, the message for the Rockets.
And the time is now 9:08. Up ahead this morning, could Texas be getting a new city? What voters would decide on today, all having to do with SpaceX. Plus, a shorter wait for your daily brew, a new tech that could be on the way to your nearest Starbucks. And welcome back. The time is now 9:11, bringing us to a look at some of the morning's other top stories, starting with one of the most successful coaches in history taking on a new role. San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich is stepping down from coaching, but he's not going too far. After 29 seasons and 5 championship titles, he'll transition into serving as the full-time team president. Coach Pop, as he's known, stepped away from the team last November after a stroke. And today, Elon Musk's Starbase, the site of several SpaceX launches, could become its own city. Nearly 300 registered voters who live in the area will vote on whether or not to incorporate and establish a small city government. Nearly all of the voters are SpaceX employees. And finally, ordering a drink at Starbucks just got a little faster. The company is testing new technology that will cut down the time it takes to make your drink. They're testing a drink scheduling system for their in-store, drive-through, and app orders. The tech was able to cut 2 minutes on average at dozens of locations. Now, Starbucks plans to expand the technology to hundreds of more stores. Now, we know the wait times can be pretty long at coffee shops, but you just wonder, does that mean fewer jobs for people, Chris?
Right, true. Hopefully it's not harder on the workers to try to get a lot of orders at a little bit of time.
I know, right? Well, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see, hopefully. But definitely seeing mostly cooler conditions this morning. Another week for next week that we're going to have unsettled weather.
Well, it looks like we better get out and enjoy the dry weather for the next few days, Chris.
Yes.
Well, thank you. The time is now 9:16. After the break, the latest jobs report is holding steady, the field seeing growth, and the ones struggling after the break. Welcome back. This morning, the U.S. job market is still holding steady with better than expected hiring in April. But economists say uncertainty around trade policies could bring new setbacks, especially for young job seekers. Employers added 177,000 jobs in April, and the unemployment rate held at 4.2%. But job totals from earlier this year were cut back, hinting at a possible slowdown. Transportation and warehousing saw gains, likely from companies rushing shipments ahead of tariffs. But hiring is cooling in sectors like tech, finance, and media, just as new grads enter the workforce.
A lot of companies have pressed pause. What that means is they are waiting to see how the tariff situation is going to impact their hiring.
And experts say the job market isn't in trouble just yet, but uncertainty could keep employers cautious in the months ahead. Well, the time is now 9:19, all new and up next. Our preview of the upcoming high school football season continues. Straight ahead, a look at what to expect from more 5A programs across the area. And later, making it easier to opt out of vaccines, how House Bill 1586 would work if it gets passed.
KHOU 11 Morning News starts now.
Taking a live look in West Houston near the Galleria this first Saturday in May. Thanks so much for starting your weekend with us here on KHOU 11 and KHOU 11 Plus. I'm Katiera Winfrey, joined by meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We talked about the rainy weather yesterday, but it's going to be nice and dry.
Yes, nice and dry for the weekend.
And we are taking a live look from the White House this morning, where work continues this weekend while President Trump is at his Palm Beach estate. The Trump administration has announced its budget plans with spending cuts, while it asked the Supreme Court to give DOJ personal data on millions of Americans. Bradley Blackburn is tracking the latest. And back at home, a reminder, today is the May 3rd joint election. While there aren't many races in the city of Houston, other voters across our area will decide on funding for schools, community safety, housing, and infrastructure. Polls opened just a couple of hours ago and will close at 7 p.m. If you're headed to the polls today, we've got you covered. For everything you need to know, including sample ballots, just text the word VOTE to 713-526-1111. We'll text you back with a link to our KHOU 11 voter guide. Also, today, Governor Greg Abbott is set to sign a new law establishing education savings accounts. It's Senate Bill 2, or the school voucher bill. It will allow families to use thousands of dollars in state funds on private school tuition. And right now, a bill that would make it easier to opt out of getting some vaccines is moving forward in the Texas House. It's House Bill 1586. If passed, Texans can download the state's exemption form as a PDF and skip contacting the state health department to get a form. Proponents say it's a step forward in recognizing vaccine choice rights, but those against the bill cited the current measles outbreak in West Texas as evidence that falling vaccination rates put the entire state at risk. The bill has yet to be scheduled for debate in the chamber. Meanwhile, this morning, the city of Houston has unveiled a new 5-year contract with the Houston Police Officers Union. This contract would boost pay across the board for all officers. Starting in July, new officers will earn over $81,000 a year. Over 5 years, officers will see a 36% salary increase. City leaders say this move will keep HPD competitive and morale high.
This is going to improve public safety. In any job, particularly when you are putting your life on the line, morale matters. And morale is good in HPD, but this is reaching all-time highs.
This will be generational. This will be life-changing for these police officers that are about to come to work for us.
The union will vote on the contract Monday, and if approved, it heads to City Council for final approval. Measles disease. There are now nearly 700 measles cases across Texas. The state's Department of Health is reporting an increase of 20 cases since Tuesday. Less than 10 of those cases are actively infectious. More than 650 of the patients with the virus do not have a vaccination, or their vaccination status is unknown. The rest of the patients have at least one vaccine dose. Meanwhile, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is urging the CDC to explore new treatments for measles, including vitamins and other alternatives. The Health and Human Services Secretary says the measles vaccine remains the best protection, but wants options for those who choose not to get it. Right now, there's no treatment once someone is infected. Well, the time is now 9:37, still ahead. Excitement is building for the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby today. Up next, where you can enjoy the fun right here in Houston. Plus, kicking off Cinco de Mayo celebrations a little early, where you can see some award-winning music and get in on the fun later today. Happening today, it's what some people call the best 2 minutes in sports. The 151st Kentucky Derby gets underway in just hours, but you don't have to go all the way to Louisville to celebrate the famous horse race in style. Our Stephanie Simmons got a sneak peek at one of Houston's biggest Derby celebrations before their big bash. And by the way, tickets for the Permission Whiskey Kentucky Derby Party are $25 and can be purchased through their Instagram page. Now, Chris, I don't know a lot about the Kentucky Derby, but the fashions, that's what I look forward to. And I feel like you got to have a little bit of money to go all out.
Yes, I've seen all sorts of fashions and some hats, and I know we have the Sam Houston Race Park here. Dry this weekend, rain chances returning for next week. Well,
I'm picking up your message. Make sure you go outside and enjoy this weather while you can.
Yeah, it's going to be July and August before you know it.
I know. Thanks, Chris. The time is now 9:46. Coming up next, get ready for a tour of the historic Battleship Texas. We take you on a rare journey below deck as crews work to complete a major restoration project. And happening in just a couple of hours on KHOU 11 Plus, a conversation on how to thrive in a changing world of technology and work. We're streaming live from the Texas Black Expo at 11 a.m. Just download the KHOU 11 Plus app on your TV and watch for free. We'll be right back. This morning, we have a below-deck look at the restoration of Battleship Texas. The historic vessel played a pivotal role in the D-Day invasion. In fact, that's the focus of a new public tour starting this weekend. Jason Miles traveled to Galveston's Pelican Island for a sneak peek.
We're on the deck of Battleship Texas.
The time is now 9:51, and here's a live look over Moody Gardens as we go to break. The top three things you need to know on this Saturday when we come back.
Welcome back. The time now is 9:54.
And now to the top 3 stories to know this morning. Here's one last reminder that today is the election day for the joint election. Voters will make decisions on funding for schools, community safety, housing, and infrastructure. Polling locations are open until 7 o'clock tonight. Next, get a look at some of Galveston's historic homes. The Galveston Historical Foundation is offering public tours of these privately owned homes. Tours will be held from 10 10 to 6 p.m. this weekend and next weekend. For ticket information and more, head to galvestonhistory.org. Finally, celebrate Cinco de Mayo weekend at East End Street Fest today. This year will feature Grammy-winning music and world-class performers. Plus, KHOU 11's own Jacob Rascone will be joining in on the fun. The party is from 3 to 9 p.m. at the Esplanade at Navigation.
And we are expecting a fantastic Wednesday.
Gotta love that Houston and Texas weather. Thanks for being up with us. I'm Katiera Winfrey.
And I'm Chris Ramirez. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy this moment of Zen.